and just press play.
Alright, cool. So this video should be called The Man Behind the Camera. Hey guys, it's Antony from Just Keep It Fresh. If you know me personally, it's Antony. And there's Peter over here. Peter's been doing a lot of work behind the camera and no one really knows who he is. They just know there's a good looking guy behind the camera, but they don't really get to see him. So this is Peter, physically here. Yeah. So tell us about yourself, Peter. I think people want to know who you are. They're quite curious, and how you got to be here. I think that's going to be quite a long story. So well, the ball to you.
Where do I start? What do you want me to start? How I met you, or?
Oh yeah, you can start how you met me. Or my mother. Okay.
I met Antony through a mutual friend. I remember I met you. I'm pretty sure we went to Freedom Car Wash. I'm pretty sure this is when you had your Audi S3.
Audi S3.
And then we went to the Freedom Car Wash, and I didn't know who you were, but you were getting along with my friend, or our friend. And then I don't know how we kicked off, but all I remember after that was just we just got along really well, and then we just always had deep fried chicken pasta all the time.
Alright.
This is when you introduced me to Taiwanese food, and I just fell in love with it.
If you guys don't know, Peter's Korean and I'm Taiwanese, and I've been exposing him to Taiwanese food more and more. Deep fried chicken pasta especially.
That was when I first had winter melon tea. I was like, what is winter melon tea? And then I had it, I was like, whoa, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's just sugar and water.
Yeah, it's just sugar water. But it's really good. So after that, I had a lot of Taiwanese food, just random milk tea runs at night. And then you found out that I was looking for a job, and you offered me a job at Optus.
Optus, yes.
That's probably when we started to get a bit closer, because we would see each other almost every day.
Well, we worked together.
So we saw each other pretty much every day. We lived close together, so you'd come pick me up, take me home. That's when I started to understand that you really like cars. Really like cars,
yeah.
And I had no idea about cars. I liked cool cars, but I had no idea that knowing about cars, you have to be on your level of knowing cars. There was one time we went to Freedom. You took me to Freedom, and you just recently got back from Japan. And I remember you telling me the story how you and your wife went to Japan and you had to go to this car exhibition or something.
It was
a car exhibition?
No, it was my honeymoon with my wife, and no wait, it's the second time we went to Japan actually. So it's not my honeymoon, it's the second. It was during...
Imagine if you went on your honeymoon.
No, it was during my birthday. So my wife said, I've got something planned for you in Japan, and I planned a place where we can go, and I was like, really all excited what it was, and she really hit the spot for me, because she's like, I've got you a session with me and you to Super Autobahn. Super Autobox, I think that's the place. It's called Super Autobox in Japan. And I was like, holy crap. And it's like the biggest detailing store in Japan.
Yeah, it's like
they sell all types of car parts, car wax, modification parts, but I only really go inside to look at the car waxes and the detailing stuff. And that was awesome. Yeah.
And I remember you came back, and then we went to Freedom. I don't know what car you had at the time. Anyway,
BRZ.
You had
it was the
BRZ.
BRZ.
It was either the BRZ, the Megane, the Civic. It was one of them. Anyway, we went there. I was chilling, and then you washed your car. I was like, cool, we're done. But then you're like, yo, check this out. Go to the back, pull out all these microfiber cloths. Okay, he's gonna dry his car. That's cool. That's what you would do after you washed it. But then you pull out this wax.
It was special wax that I bought from Japan. That was pretty much my birthday present.
Yeah, I was like, yo, he's like, yo, check this out. I started spraying the car, wipe it down. How cool is this? And I was like, oh yeah, what's it doing? I
remember
had
that
no idea
conversation.
what you were doing.
No, I told you. I said, look, this is the size of a microfiber cloth, like pretty much this big, and I got this big car, and I'm gonna dry this car with just the size of this microfiber cloth.
Yeah.
And then I was like, look at this, and it's the cloth is still drying. I'm still drying the car. It's not wet, it's not soaked, and it's still drying. And then you were like, wow, in your true Peter fashion, like, wow, with no expression on your face.
I had no idea what you were doing. Like, I was, just drying his car. I mean, that's pretty cool. Like, dry with one microfiber cloth. But at the time, I remember I was like, where's the water going? Like, because the car was still wet. You didn't blow dry or anything, and then the car was still wet, and you're wiping it.
Yeah,
it's just such a small microfiber cloth. I was like, where's the water going? Yeah, I remember that. Anyway, yeah, we just got really close after, doing freedom runs, tea runs, working at Optus, and then we worked together close to a year and a bit, maybe.
In Optus,
yeah.
nearly 2 years.
Nearly 2 years. You were my one-up. You were the assistant manager there.
Yeah.
And I was.
You started as a part-time. Yep.
Became full-time.
And then you became business specialist.
And then you left.
Yeah.
You left to go to a different company.
Yes.
And then what?
And then COVID hit.
And then I remember, I will never forget this. COVID hit. World is in panic. We're watching the news. Everything is like pandemic. And you call me over to your house. This is when you had your first kid. He's what?
My first. But I still only have one kid.
His
only son.
He was still in.
Like 6 months old.
Yeah, he was still in his
baby seat,
child seat, not walking. And I remember he was next to the table, and we were sitting there. You called me over to ask me something. I'm like, yo, what's up? And then you're like, I want to start a car detailing business.
Yes.
Do you want to do it with me? I looked at your son and I was like, are you sure you want to do this? We've got COVID going on. We don't know. At the time, we had no idea what COVID was. Like,
yeah.
We're scared. And then you're like, I'm gonna do this car detailing thing. People are staying at home. I'll go to their house and I'll wash their car. You just moved job. It had been
6 months around. 6 months in the job. Yeah.
And you just had this idea to start your own thing. I want to get that. Why go from that?
So my job after I left Optus was a telecommunication service in Australia, by the way, if you guys don't know. But I've always been into doing phones and internet, and I got into a job called Broadband Solutions, which was a really good place to work. And I looked after a lot of accounts in Melbourne. And obviously after the COVID hit in Australia, well, we weren't able to travel, had to work from home, and there was a lot of cut. Like I'm sure everyone knows, when COVID hit, it hit hard, and a lot of people lost their jobs. And a lot of people were made redundant, especially if you were in like a medium-sized business. I'd say Broadband Solution was like more of a medium-sized business compared to Optus. Optus is one of the major carriers in Australia, and you weren't much affected, but I was. So when I dropped my hours, I decided to look for other avenues of income. Just got a kid. My wife is still on maternity leave, and baby's 6 months, 5-6 months old. What can you do? You can't do much apart from try to really provide for your family. And my faith is Christianity. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus, and this is where I think why Peter and myself we work so well together. We're always together is because you're a Christian, right? And I'm Christian as well. And I think I was brought up differently to a lot of people who are from my country. I'm from Taiwan, and in Taiwan, in China, and Hong Kong, you always brought, I don't know about Korea, but you always brought in a culture where if you want to succeed you have to do certain things. You have to be a doctor. You have to do what. It's a very generic sort of I guess pattern and different sort of status and expectations that you have to hit to get that merit. And for me, I wasn't really taught that way. I was brought up at church, and what I was taught is, like, if you want to do something, just do it as long as it's, valuable not just for you but for other people around you. So affecting not just myself but using myself to affect other people, that's always a great way to start. And I've always had visions of myself starting a business. I don't know what sort of business I'd be into, but I thought at the time, I like cleaning cars, so why not give that a try? And my wife, when she heard it, she was a bit, I guess, shocked and surprised, as you were as well. And she goes, why? We're just gonna find another job. Why out of everything? Well, what do you want to do? Do you tell my business? That's not what she sounds like. Sorry. That's not what she sounds like, but I'm just pretending to be another person. And I was like, I want to build. Like, I think building, not just physically in like building a building, but like building something from nothing is something very challenging, but yet very, very rewarding. And I want to be able to build, which I want to share something as well. Like, I've been reading the Bible before, and Matthew 25, Matthew's a chapter in the Bible. Chapter 25 talks about a few parables, and one of them was the parable of the people with talents. Like there's a master. He gave different people different amount of talents, and the first person got like a certain amount. I think it's 50 talents. And then the second servant got like 100 talents, and then the other one got 500 talents. But the one with 50, he hid his talents onto the floor, and when the days go by, when they were to come back to the master, the servant said, the third one came back and, look, I had 500 talents, I made 1,000, so I made 500 more. Here's what I have for you. And the master was like, oh, great job, you've done a great thing, like you've doubled it. The 100 talent one said, look, I went out and I made 100 extra talents, I have 200 talents, here you go. And the master was like, oh, you've done a great job. And then the first servant came back and he goes, you didn't give me as much as those people, and I've only got 50 talents, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide my talent. I've hidden my talent inside the soil, and I've taken it back out, and here I'll just return the talent to you. And he was like, oh, how dare you, pretty much. And a lot of people go, oh, but that's true, like, he's received only just a little bit, and everyone else received more. But I think what we have to take from that parable is that everyone is born differently. Like, that person with a 50 talent could be someone who's born not in a good family, probably in a more, I guess, poorer family in the world, and other people who have 500 talent. You've got people who are born in the 500 talent could be the son of Elon Musk, the son of Bill Gates. Like, they have so much when they were born, with so much, that they have so much resources. What are you going to do with these resources with all these resources in your life to double that amount, or to help others? And that's what I really wanted to do. Is I don't think I was born in a poor family or a super wealthy one. I think I was born in an okay family, but they've always supported me. They've always given me what I needed to do to be able to succeed. And yes, COVID hit, but I still have a lot of resource, and it's the best time now to see what I can do with this resource to build upon these resources and influence people around me, and influence, it's hard to justify, but I guess the best way to say it is, when I lost my job, or when I didn't have my job, survival was hard, right? But then I started doing mobile detailing. I was able to slowly gain money to feed myself and my family. And then a few months later, we had other staff join, Just Keep It Fresh, and I was able to help support them and their family. And now how many staff do we have?
Around
9 or 10 staff. And we have how many full-timers? Like you, Matt, Loki, me.
5.
Yeah, five full-timers. We are feeding 5 families pretty much from when I first started. That's a really...
It's achievement. It's huge.
It's really rewarding.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, what was the question?
Well, that's pretty much it. Like why you started, how you started, and after seeing, for me, I find that it's really important when you do something that you see progress. Like
Yeah.
I see that progress is something that shows if you're going in the right direction or not, whether you should keep doing it or not. And for this business and for yourself, like, it's been a year and a bit now since you've started it, from that small, just starting from your car, boot of your car, having the tools, to now having a brick and mortar.
I remember showing you a picture of when I had my Renault Megane in the boot of my little hatchback. I was like, look, I held all the stuff that I bought from Super Cheap Auto, and I was like, oh look, Peter, like have a look, like I'm ready to go and detail cars, and like it just fit in the back of my boot.
Yeah.
And I started from that.
You start from that, and then
$350 worth of equipment.
You had that, and then one day you called me up and, yo, what are you doing? I'm at home. So yeah, come Macca's. So, okay, rock up to Macca's. I couldn't see your car. Well, I was like, did he change his car again? And then it's like, yo, Peter, here, at the cube.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I got this cube. And then it's like, this is the work car. I was like, well, that's sick. It's like, yo, straight imported from Japan.
Straight imported from Japan.
Nothing's in English, everything's in Japanese.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and that, and then just keep on progressing.
By the way, guys, I've tried multiple times to, I guess, bait Peter in working for us.
The first time Antony asked me, I don't know why you asked me to come and do a video. Like, I think about it now. Like, why did you ask me to come and do a video?
The video for the Bentley?
It was for the Mercedes.
Oh, yeah.
C63.
Yeah. I think,
was I making?
if I say it now, I'll reveal the secret to why we're so successful. I don't care. I mean, doing detailing is one thing. Doing like plastering or painting is one thing. You can have something that you like to do, but if you don't know how to convince your audience why you're doing it or show off what you're good at, then you're not really making or showing or demonstrating a story to them. And I think storytelling, like I've worked in many places. I started off with Telstra, Tesla, Steelhub, Optus, whatever, blah blah blah. Like, storytelling is the most important thing when you're selling a service or a product, or even talk about it. Like this right now, we are storytelling, and visually, people don't like to read anymore. I don't know if we're just all less educated. I'm just joking. I was just joking. We're not less educated. People don't have time to read. Everything is like so fast. Remember you showed me a comedian named Ronnie? It's like people want to buy stuff on Amazon.
Oh, it's like I want it now. Amazon Prime, gotta get it.
Yeah, gotta get it now.
As soon as I click, I have to get it now.
Yeah, as soon as I click, buy. I want it now. Like people just want to get things done now and quickly, and everyone's attention span is just slowly getting more minimized, and it's so important that when I want to do or sell a product and services, I'm not just posting online with like 10,000 words of why you should come to me and stuff. So I said, you know what? It should be visual. So ever since I started this business, taking photos and really editing and knowing what angles to take, it's just so important. And I know I kind of had a feeling because I've been seeing your stuff on your Instagram, Peter, that you've been doing a lot of video taking. You've got a drone, you've got whatnot. So I was like, man, I wish we could start doing videos, but Peter works at Optus and I work here. I don't know how I'm going to do that. So I asked you.
And like, I didn't have like the equipment that I imagine places that did videos would have. All I had was my phone and a gimbal. And then when you asked me, I was like, okay, yeah, I can do it. And then I'm pretty sure I went to go buy a camera. It wasn't like a lens fitted. It was just a compact Sony camera. I got one. I bought another gimbal. I bought a couple batteries just in case. And I remember being at the shop that you were using at the time.
Yeah.
And I was really nervous because I was like, okay, first we got a customer's car. Well, you have a customer's car.
Yeah.
And then you've told me that it's a C63.
It's one of the carbon edition.
Carbon edition.
Only a few in Australia.
Only a few in Australia. I was like, okay. I knew nothing about cars at the time. I didn't know what your product was. I had to get like a real quick rundown of what is ceramic coating. It's like ceramic coating is pretty much this, and then I had to ask you, okay, what are the steps you're gonna do? And they were like, cool, let's go. And I think about it now, we did it in one take. I just said, go.
Which is pretty much what we still do.
Yeah, which is pretty much what we still do. I just say, ignore me, just do what you do, and I'll try my best to get everything. And I'm glad that you asked me to do it because, like, even myself, that was, I guess, my passion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really wanted to be good at it. I wanted to do it. All I thought about was just videos. But I didn't have, I guess, the outlet or the opportunity to get myself into it. And I'm very timid. Like, I'm not someone who, I want to do this and I'll jump into it.
Yeah.
But you pretty much dragged me into it in a good way. In a good way. I see it as a very good opportunity, and I'm very thankful and grateful that you actually did pull me into it to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm here now. I'm making videos all day.
How crazy is that? Like, we live in a world, in a society where you might like something, but you don't want to do it because you're scared that other people will think what you're doing isn't good.
Mm.
Like, I graduated from a good school. I graduated from UQ business school, and I was kind of afraid when people wanted to ask me when I first just started by myself in this business, what do you do?
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, I just clean cars. Yeah, just clean cars. Nothing much. I'm just a humble car cleaner, and I'm scared of it's just a car cleaner, you know. But then I think it's very important to be proud of what you do and be happy with what you do and doing what you actually like, because you'll enjoy your workplace a lot more, like Peter can tell you, and also you do it 10 times better than something that's really one of the things that I learned when I was working for Tesla. They say to work on your strength and not your weakness. So Peter, if you were getting interviewed and I realized you're not good at sales, you're good at counting numbers, then why should I train you on sales? Because no matter how much I train, I can't get you, at a level where if someone else came who's really good at sales, like I can put 10 hours of effort onto you and you can only be at 60%, whereas this salesperson can come and he's really good at it. I can put 10 hours on him, he will be at 100%. So I'd rather work on his strength instead of working on your weakness to try and be that strength. So instead of that, I'll put my 100% energy onto putting on, if you're good at numbers, data analyst, financial stuff, accountant, something like that. And I think that really worked for us because I love cars and I love cleaning cars and I love doing all this, and Peter loves making videos, right?
Yeah, and it's interesting to see how we work well together.
Look, this timid guy is always like, and I'm always like up here, and we kind of balance each other off. Like I'll come to him, I'm like, yeah, Peter, but yeah, I'm like, all right, cool, better just be a normal day again.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how what we've come to, or what you've come to,
or what we've come to, yeah, right? Well, think about it. It's 2021 now, and it's nearly December, nearly end of the year. What do you think? Like, what are your thoughts right now? Like, how do you feel about all this?
I feel very thankful that I got an opportunity to do something that I really enjoy, that I really love, that I'm passionate about. Even though I don't have a background in it, it makes.
Oh, you didn't have a degree in. What? You don't have a degree in videography? I've got to fire you now. I'm just joking.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's why I was so scared when I did the first video for Antony, because I didn't know if I could pull it off. But, you know, I realized that if you love something, you just teach yourself to do it, you know. You want to get better, you want to improve, you want to make progress, you know. And looking over this year, I think I've learned so many things, not just in, you know, what it is to be making content or what it is to be doing marketing, but just like being exposed to an environment where, you know, a startup business needs so much more effort, so much more energy for it to run and grow. And there's many times where I've had some expectation of something, but that expectation just gone. You just have to adjust. You have to just adjust, and it's constantly adjusting, readjust, and just match with the situation. You never know what you're gonna get. Like, every day is different.
Is it different working for a small business like ours compared to working at a big corporate business like Optus?
I think so. It's very different scale. Working here, it's pretty much, you got the headquarters, the admin, the media team, the marketing team, everything, the you know, the shop, like the floor team, all in one spot. Whereas Optus is more everyone's everywhere else, and it's delegated to you. But here, you could be the admin one day, and then you might have to be you know, doing errands another day. You have to kind of fill in for everything, and I love doing it because it shows that like a company like Optus it didn't become what it is from just, you know, chill.
It probably started off exactly like us.
Yes, so it could have just started like this. Yeah. That's my thoughts.
That's your thoughts? Awesome. Well, yeah, I feel the same way. I think you never really know what any manager or what a boss of a company will be thinking about unless you're really in that place, in that role and situation, exactly. And a lot of times, when I was working for other people, you know, I always had to complain, like, why would they do it this way? Why would they do it that way? Like, that's stupid. Like, they could do this, they could do that, and I wouldn't know. Well, there's financial constraints. There's reputation constraints. There's marketing constraints. There's human resource constraints. There's all this constraint now that I can see in a more fully like, oh, I understand. And sometimes when my staff or my team ask me, well, why don't you do it like this? Why don't you do it like that? And I'm like, oh, I could just kind of see what I used to be like, and I want to like smack myself or smack them. Yes, if you guys are watching, you guys. I'm just joking. Yeah, so I think it's this company, like, you know what? I always say to myself, if one day Just Keep It Fresh did not exist anymore, I'm still very happy that I've been working with you from, you know, whenever, and I'm still happy that I've had this experience and exposure to this, exposure to running this business, because it's something that I would never regret doing. I would never regret, even if one day we don't do anything anymore, I won't regret what we've done before, because at least I think it's super rewarding. Yeah, super rewarding. Is there anything else you would like to say before we end this?
No.
That's if that was an interview, you'd fail that interview.
Well, we're pretty much interviewing each other, so don't know who the interviewee and the interviewer is. So
I don't know who's interviewing what, but
hopefully we can do more of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I enjoy this.
Yeah,
I think it's quite.
I think it's good.
I think we've
Just show each other's colours and colours. Or character colours. Yeah.
I'm white actually. But yeah, if you guys like what we're doing or all this kind of content, let us know.
And we'd love to hear what you guys think.
Awesome.